Okay guys, welcome to my review video of the EnClean brush that's hit the market. My name is Tonya. I am a registered nurse of 22 plus years, all geriatric, so that covers ages 18 to basically death. So I've worked with a big age group of patients. I've also been a medically complex foster care parent for better than 15 years. So I've had everything from newborns up to 18, lots of medical conditions. All that to say, I've had most every G-tube extension and syringe on the market in this country in my hands at some point. I have some experience with them. Most of my experience has come with a slip tip type system. ENFit, of course, has hit the market, and I am not impressed. I have never been someone that liked the ENFit system. It's a dirty system to me, which we do not want when we're feeding patients. It increases their risk of foodborne bacteria. So now that we have the EnClean brush, I'm hoping this will make me feel much more comfortable with the ENFit system and all of the accessories that go with that. So let's take a quick look at the product. This is the way the product comes shipped to you. You'll see that it comes with the brush itself, and then you'll have a small insert with instructions on how to use the product. It's actually fairly simple, straightforward. So it comes with this nifty little strap. It works really well to hang your brush to dry. That's what I use it for. I also like that it is in two pieces. It's not just the brush. So you have the brush and you have a cover for the brush. The cover comes with these little holes in the bottom, which is really nice because you keep your brush covered, but you allow airflow to let it dry. I also like that it has the little piece of silicone in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see that. That will cap off the open part of your ENFit connection to allow these brushes to go down into the grooves to clean your ENFit connections, pull out any debris, and continue to keep that hole in the middle of your system open so that debris doesn't get in there. I also like that it has a silicone grip. As you can see, my hands are horrible. Wintertime is really bad for me. All the soap and water, all the use of syringes, things like that, really dries my hands out. So the silicone is much more comfortable than the plastic, and honestly, it's just easier on my hands. So these are really simple to use. They're made to insert into your whatever you have that is ENFit. This syringe is actually not. So let's try the connector. Here we go. So the purple piece in the middle will fit down into that center port, letting your brushes go into those grooves on the side. So in order to use the brush, you want to dip it in antiseptic mouthwash, insert it into whatever you're cleaning, twist it, give it a good clean, pull it out, put that in your mouthwash again, and continue that until your connection is clean. Then you are going to rinse your brush in the antiseptic mouthwash again, get all the debris, the food, the formula, whatever off of it, and then you're just gonna cap it. You can just sit it somewhere to dry, clean dry surface. You can hang it on your drying rack, which is what I do. I have one big rack that I dry everything on. So I'll leave this hanging from the rack, keeps it from getting spills, things like that. You know, if you have all of your stuff in the kitchen, which I do, I think most parents do, but it'll keep all of that debris off of your brush. If something does get splashed on it, you have the cover, and it's gonna continue to dry because of the holes in the bottom. And it's gonna let any moisture that drips off of the brush into the cap run out of those holes, of course. So that is the product, the cleaning instructions, everything that you'll receive when you get it. I kind of did my own little test with these brushes, I like to put products kind of through the ringer. This company says that the product is good for 30 days. So 30 days worth of use. I have not used my brush for 30 days, but I really have put it through the mills since I've had it. I have probably washed around 200 items with my brush. So this is the one that I've been using. I wanted to see how durable this product actually was, if it was gonna hold up to 30 days worth of cleaning, if the bristles would start to fall out, if we'd see any rusting, all those different things that you look for, but that we often see in a lot of the brushes that we use to clean things. So I was really concerned that maybe this cap would grow mold or something to that extent down in the cap, because with me, I use my brush probably 4 times a day. So if it doesn't dry well, the cap doesn't dry well, then of course you risk some mold and mildew issues. As you can see, my brush has actually held up well. So there's nothing in the cap. I haven't noticed anything building up in the cap, so the cap has stayed clean. The brush itself, I haven't seen any rust around any of the metal components in the brush. This center silicone piece has held up really well. There's been no breakage with that. You know, I don't see any kind of damage to it. I haven't noticed any loose bristles at all. So everything seems to be holding up well. And I think 200 pieces cleaned with this brush would probably be sufficient for what most parents would clean as far as just their ENFit connections throughout a 30-day period. But I am one that likes to have things that are multi-use. So while these are great for ENFit, they also looked super handy for other things. So if you'll look at all of the stuff that's laying in front of us here, these are different things that I decided to give a shot with cleaning this brush. If they look dirty, know that they're not. My son is on a blended diet, so his food stains anything and everything that it touches. So while things may look dirty, they do not have food debris on them. They are clean. But just for example, my youngest drinks from these bottles. He thinks it's the only thing that he possibly can drink from, and he wants everything in them. So sometimes we have things the same, sometimes we don't. Sometimes bottles get left overnight in his bedroom, you know, and things just get kind of nasty. These little screw grooves, these little brushes work great to get 2 of the brushes on the inside, 2 on the outside, and then you can spin the bottle and it gets everything out of those grooves. A lot of things that I clean just have grooves that I'm using the brush for. These are my the bottle caps I use for his feeding, the squeezy bottles. They also, I can do the same thing with those. You can work your bristles into that groove and they completely clean out all of the food debris in that groove. It's a much tighter fit than the ENFit connection, so you want to be careful that you're not bending your brush too much. Of course, you do risk breaking the metal. It also works to get 1 bristle inside here to clean this little groove. So I also use it for anything that screws on. So I put my oldest kiddo's medication in these specimen containers, and this works really good for the screw-on part of the container and also for the lid, because the bristle just fits right into that little area. This is also the cap that goes on his feeding bottle, and it's the same thing. You just work your bristles onto this area and you can bring out all of the debris that gets stuck in there. These are the seals. Nobody talk about how dirty my seals are. They're pretty much worn out. I'm waiting on some more to come in, but these bristles will also fit down in this little area. If you guys use these bottles, you're familiar with that little X in the middle. So a lot of things can get kind of stuck down in there, and I feel like there's food I don't always get to with like a pipe cleaner or something like that. So these little bristles also work really good with that. I bend the seal just so that the other brushes aren't poking into the seal, and that allows me to get into those little grooves. These, of course, are the ENFit feeding syringes. So You can use it on the cap if you cap off your syringes, you know, to feed your kid on the go, have your syringes pre-filled or whatever. So those work good. It does seem to clean out that whole little gap in your syringe caps. The one in the middle is not so great. You can try to get your brush in there. A lot of times I can get it out with that. Sometimes I can't, especially if it's dry. Of course, you know, not exactly the intended purpose of the brush. It's more for this part, but it will work on your caps. And with the feeding syringe, it's the same thing. We're gonna cap off the hole. The bristles go on the outside, and then you can spin the brush, spin the syringe, and that's gonna clean out all the threading and remove as much of that stuff as you possibly can. So that's all my alternative uses that I've found so far for the brush. I'm sure there'll be a few more along the way. I will probably use these for some of my alternative cleaning things over the 30 days. Not that I would recommend that, because of course the company does not recommend over 30 days. It is going to be a 30-day use product with your feeding supplies, but I think with some alternative uses, and I'll be using them in soap and water. We'll see how it holds up over time for alternative uses. But that is the new brush on the market, the EnClean brush, to clean all of your ENFit connections and attachments. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it's helpful. And if you like the product, give it a try.